Yes, Gene, what is it? All right, put him on, but when Madeline Morrison shows up, show her right in, will you? Thank you, Gene. John, it's good to hear from you. Did you get your check? No, John, we didn't drop in box office receipts. We just had to replace a few costumes. Of course, I think it was a justified expenditure. Any play Madeline Morrison stars in will run at least a year. Right, John. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a flat guarantee. John failed me once in 25 years. John, I'll do better than that. She's just walked in. I'll let you tell her yourself. It's one of our angels, John Apperson. He wants to give you his regards.
Oh. How sweet of you to call. Oh, yes, it's going quite well. I certainly will do all I can to keep it that way. Oh, yes, please do. Stop by next time you're in town. I will, and thank you, John. Give my regards to your family as well. Yes, John, of course we appreciate all you do for us. Do you have more to talk to Seth about? Very well, then. I'll say goodbye for both of us. Ta! He does have a family, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he's a Utah Mormon. They believe in big ones.
Well, good. I would have hated to have made a faux pas. Is he upset?
Oh, he just wanted to know why last month's check wasn't as large as the month before. I had to tell him about the new costumes.
I cannot blame him for his concern. I, too, would wonder if receipts fell off this soon. You should have told them all before you bought the new costumes.
Oh, no, darling. Much better they find out after the fact. Saves untold arguments. Besides, I guaranteed him another 6 months.
Perhaps you shouldn't have, Seth.
Why? You've never failed to run at least a year.
Unfortunately, this will be the first time I won't make it.
What are you talking about? I've got bookings clear through Christmas.
You don't understand, Seth. The show may last another year, but I will not.
Are you trying to break your contract or just my heart?
If I could, I would never do that to you, but the fact is, my leukemia is out of remission. Dr. Fawcett has no new miracles to save me this time.
Oh, Maddie. Is he sure?
Oh, yes. We consulted with all the best specialists available. This time it is irreversible. They all agreed.
How did Simon take this?
Oh, Simon doesn't know yet. He's been up in Briarwood with Victoria. She just finished that tour with Bailey Hanson Dance Ensemble and was anxious to get down here. I suspect she has a new beau.
It's going to be a blow to the two of them. I know they dote on you so.
I know. It would certainly soften the blow if they were closer. Speaking of that, I would like to ask a favor.
Name it.
Would you consider replacing me with Victoria?
Place? Victoria? Oh, Maddie, that's an awful tall order.
I believe I've earned the right to ask, Seth. And with Simon to help prepare her, just as he has always done for me, I think she would be the perfect choice.
I appreciate your confidence in your daughter. But as much as I owe you loyalty, I owe our public and our backers an overriding loyalty. My professional reputation. You'd be asking to put my reputation on the line. If Vicki were a disaster, I'd be out of business.
I realize that, and I would not ask if I were not sure she could handle it.
You know, I love Vicki as if she were my own daughter. I just couldn't make a commitment like this.
Please, Seth. This is very important to me. Do not say no without giving us a chance to prove she's ready. After all, at this moment, who else have you got?
Well, with an experienced trooper like Barbara Carroll already in the cast and a superb understudy like Linda Lawson just waiting in the wings, I'd be foolish not to go with the obvious.
Barbara's all right as Beth, but she hasn't got what it takes to carry a role like Samantha. Perhaps in 10 more years she could handle the subtle changes the part requires. As for Linda, she's only passable as Beth. You would be weakening both roles.
You may be right, but they've both paid their dues and they've earned the right to a chance.
You mean you do not think Victoria has paid hers?
Not on Broadway where it counts.
Well, neither did I when you brought me over from England, but that didn't stop you then. Will you not at least consider Victoria, please?
All right. All right. I'll give it serious consideration. How long did Doc Fawcett... How long?
6 months. With transfusions.
How long will you be able to perform?
Until I drop if I have to.
I can't believe we're having this conversation. You're the closest thing I have to family. All I've ever wanted. I can't conceive of a Broadway without you. I can't conceive of life without you. Oh, my girl, I've loved you far more than my tired old heart has any right to. But you do know that, don't you?
Dear Seth, I've always loved you. You've always been there for me. My adopted big brother. The family I never had as a child.
Is there anything your big brother can do for you now?
Yes. Come home with me tonight. I'll need your strength to help me get through what must be done.
Strength? I've been a teetotaler for almost 60 years, but tonight I think I just might get drunk.
If I thought it would do any good, I would join you.
Does Vicky know of your first bout of leukemia?
Oh, no. It went into remission so fast we didn't tell her when she came home from college. It didn't seem necessary to upset her because we thought we'd beaten it.
But Simon knew, and he'll be better prepared. Still, my heart goes out to him. I know how much that man loves you.
He's proved it to me many times over. I still cannot believe he ever singled me out of the Soho Quartet.
The Soho Quartet. That group you were with at the beginning of World War II.
Do you realize it's been over 25 years since I first met him? We were both playing at Camp Harlington Theatre near Portsmouth, England. It was 1942.
So this will be home for a while, perhaps as long as the war continues. This isn't much, but any stage can come alive with a master's touch. Oh, good day, good sir. Can you tell me where the dressing rooms are?
Yes, I can. Are you in the show?
Yes, I am.
Well, so am I. My name is Roman Reedus.
Nice to meet you, Roman.
Wait a minute. Didn't you used to be Simon Hanover?
My good man, I am still Simon Hanover.
So you're the master of ceremonies tonight, is that it?
Yes, I am. And what do you do?
I sing in a quartet. It's just temporary. You know, doing my part for the war effort. Here, let me help you. The dressing rooms are just beyond that curtain.
Oh, thank you, good chap.
Quaint little theater. Did you see all those soldiers out there?
Oh, yes, and did you see that cute one in the front row?
Oh, no, my dear, I only have eyes for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, old chap. Stupid of me. Oh, good heavens, Simon Hanover. Oh, I really am sorry. Can you please forgive me?
So you know me then, do you?
Oh, of course. Who would not recognize the world's foremost Shakespearean actor?
Am I really? Do you know me from reputation or from experience?
Oh, I've seen you perform many times. In fact, as often as I can. There's no more demanding medium than the works of our glorious bard.
Is there really? I wonder. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head as winged messenger from heaven, unto the white, upturned, wandering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze upon him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, we but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but a name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What is a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would not Romeo call, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me henceforth love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo. Unfortunately, we have to return to the mundane world. What a joy to be one so young, yet so dedicated.
Oh, thank you, kind sir. It was jolly good fun being your Juliet, if only for a moment.
And for me, too. Would you tell me my Juliet's name?
Madeline Morrison, a humble play at your service, sir.
Madeline Morrison. It suits you well. Are you playing here tonight?
Oh, yes, as part of a group called the Soho Quartet.
Oh, yes, I should have known. Have you met the Brigadier yet?
Oh, the producer? No, I haven't.
Watch your step with him.
Oh, yes, I hear he's the worst kind of rogue.
Madeline, would you be offended if I asked to see you after the show?
To what end doth my Romeo ask?
Fear not, little bird. This Romeo preys not on defenseless children.
Nor does this woman take pity on decrepit old men.
My Juliet has fire. My apologies, dear girl. I meant no offense. I only wish to let you know that I harbored no improper designs upon your life or virtue.
Then you are a rare old bird. Perhaps one worth chancing another encounter, but I warn you, I may be small, but growing up in an orphanage has made me quite capable of defending myself if called upon.
I well understand, dear lady, for I too grew up in an orphanage. Perhaps we have a lot more in common than just a mere love for Shakespeare.
Hurry, Madeline. They'll be opening the doors soon.
Oh, no, and I still have to change. It would never do to be late.
Will I see you later then?
Oh, well, I would like to match Bob's with you, if you really want to.
I look forward to the challenge. Marvelous show tonight. A few dances, some songs, some pretty girls, and even a little culture. You Tommies deserve nothing but the best. I do think that we have a few colonials from across the pond with us this night. You Yanks are always welcome for a brief stopover on your way to Berlin. I'm sure we would hate to disappoint the old paper hanger since he was so rude to invite you to our party. Perhaps, together, we can cause Adolf's dreams to be as troubled and tormented as Shakespeare's Danish Prince Hamlet. To be, or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind of man to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep no more. For in a sleep we say to end the heartaches and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes a calamity of so long a life. Soft you now, O fair Europa. Nymph in thy orisons, be all of my sins My apologies to the immortal bard for the liberties taken in the mood of the moment. Thank you. Thank you one and all for coming. We wish you well in the days to come. And in the words of Tiny Tim, God bless you, everyone. There. I'm glad that is over. But I did not appreciate these fine lads so much. No amount of money could cause me to participate in that kind of disaster again.
Oh, I thought it was a good show. Certainly it was well received. You're not all that bad as a solo comedian. You may find you have a whole new career.
Not if I have to starve.
Come away now, get cracking, or you will miss the bus.
The bus? To London?
To right you are, Mr. Hanover.
I'm sorry. It is my only way back and I cannot keep them waiting.
Let them go ahead and ride back with me. I could do with some company to keep me awake.
Well, I would like to, but...
With this young lady as a chaperone, my Bentley will be safe, secure, and far more comfortable than any bus.
Ain't that the truth? Gosh, a Bentley yet. Why don't we let them go on? This is too good a chance to give over.
Well, if you're willing, Sheila, then so am I.
Then it's settled then. Hop to, Sheila. Your chariot awaits.
Natty, love, you bagged yourself a right nice one. Ta.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive her. She means well.
No apologies are necessary. You see, the idea of being backed by you was eminently exciting. I look forward to the challenge.
Careful, dear Romeo. A man of your great years might not be able to stand the excitement.
I am only 30, hardly in my dotage.
Oh, and to think I'd added at least 20 more years.
How to have your ears for that remark, young lady?
No, I've not forgiven you your thoughtless gaffe.
Oh, I wish you would.
Never you can. To an old lady of 20, such things are unforgivable.
That old, are you? Nearing years of senility, I would say. Madeline, how long do you plan to be with the Soho Quartet?
Why should I leave them? We're doing quite well, actually.
Keeping you in diamonds and furs, I see.
Oh, well, no, but we are paying the rent and eating 3 squares a day. That's not bad for only being professional for 6 months.
I do not mean to make light of what you have done so far. How do you plan to get beyond mere subsistence to real security?
Well, one hopes that would come in time.
Not unless you make a plan and then work that plan.
What are you suggesting, Simon?
I believe Madeline Morrison could go to the top. And practice is the key to perfection. You must never try to direct yourself. Give yourself over to someone you can trust to guide your progress.
Oh, and how would I pay for all that, since, as you put it, I'm barely subsisting?
By your own hard work and sharing perhaps a meal or two along the way. Oh, no strings attached, no emotional involvement. My payment will be in the mutual creation, the excellence of your performance.
Your payment? You mean you would actually be willing to help me? Well, do you really have the time?
Oh, I would take it gladly if you would continue to work as directed.
But why?
Perhaps I have a Pygmalion complex.
Are you serious? Or is this just a line I've not heard before?
I am perfectly trustworthy. If you have any doubts, it must be in your own abilities.
I take that as a challenge, and I accept upon your express terms.
Good. Then we can discuss the particulars on our journey back to London.
Oh, do I have time to go and get my things?
Oh, I suppose I shall have to wait. Perhaps it is a trade that I'll have to learn to perfect if we are to continue.
I shall not be long. I promise.
Sorry to be keeping you, love, but Roman wasn't inclined to be leaving us.
This Roman? Is he interested in Madeline?
Like a duck takes to water.
Is she equally smitten?
Who's she riding home with, laddie?
Does she date anyone else?
Not even him. She's a dedicated lass. Has no time for hanky-panky.
How can you be so sure?
We shares our rooms together. Have ever since she left the orphanage.
Then you're close then?
Yes, we are.
Then I should let you know that my interests in your friend are almost purely professional. You see, she has star quality. I promise to help her reach that potential.
That is all to the good. But I heard you use the word almost. Care to explain?
You wouldn't deny me a small ray of hope. She is an exciting young lady.
We all live in hope, Simon Hanover. Even as little people.
My dear Juliet, you now have a 1-year contract at Leicester Square.
Oh, no, that's wonderful!
Yes.
I can't believe it! Gentle Romeo, thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Simon, you love me, don't you?
I am afraid you are right. I do.
Why should you be afraid to love me?
Oh, Madeline, you are a sweet, untouched girl with no real knowledge of life. I'm 10 years older, and thus I am trying to be sensible.
Sensible? I think you're just afraid of commitment.
Not in the least. I just think you should take some time for life and your newfound career before you make a permanent commitment, which is the only kind that I would consider.
As if I would consider any other, you stuffed shirt.
I'm only trying to think of what is best for you.
I am the best judge of what is best for me, and you, darling, are already the best part of me.
Would taking any little more time be too much to ask?
Yes, I'm flesh and blood, not a machine. But it's so hard to understand that now that you've opened the door, I want it all. Home, family, children, and all that goes with it.
What about your career?
Oh, is there a reason I cannot have both?
There are those who can balance both, but most who try fail. Must you have everything now before you're ready for it?
But I am ready.
I don't think so.
You act as if I'm a baby that needs to grow up first.
And so you are.
Oh, it is you who is not ready for a mature relationship. If you could not accept me as an equal, I want no part of you. Goodbye, Mr. Hanover.
Madeline.
You handled that a bit poor, my lad.
Yes, I suppose. Would you go to her, please?
Oh, never you worry, though. She don't rightly mean it.
Oh, love be moderate. Allay thy ecstasy. Measuring thy joy. Scant this excess. I feel too much thy blessing. Make it less, for I fear I sift.
Good grief, man. How am I supposed to sell tickets if you don't deliver them to me on time? Now, I don't care how you do it, but if I don't have those tickets on my desk today, I'll have Dave Kingsley instigating a lawsuit for contract violation. I hear you, Tony, and it doesn't cut any ice. Now, you promised me delivery 3 days ago, and I'm being generous not to be already pressing suit. No. Now, I've heard these promises 10 times over. A benefit like this is a surprise to everybody, and all our other suppliers have had the same 2 weeks' notice. They've all made good on their deadlines. Okay. All right, Tony, but don't fail me. I've been too good a customer. Can you believe that guy? We've been doing business together for 15 years. Now I ask you, how can I pre-sell tickets I don't have?
Don't worry. It will turn out all right. Terry Green is too organized to really let this become a disaster. He will simply have a massive will call to handle Tuesday night. As for me, I will be glad of a whole day with my family.
Yes, and I'm sure you can use the rest. Speaking of which, until Vicky is ready to replace you, or we go the other way, I don't want you to do any more matinees. Give the understudies a chance, in case they're needed.
If that is what you want, I cannot object, can I?
Well, now that you've let me establish who the boss is around here, let's get back to that little disagreement you had with Simon. Who did win that one?
Oh, it's been a family joke all these years that we compromised and did it my way. We were married 2 weeks later, and 2 years later, we were blessed with Victoria.
That had an effect on your career.
Oh, not until the last few months I carried her. Then I began to show too much and had to leave the play. I took several months off to have and enjoy her, and when I finally found I had to go back, no one seemed to want me.
Yeah, you'd committed the unpardonable sin. Having a child in the middle of a run of a show gave you a bad name. I know, because I was warned off you for that very reason.
Yes. It was not until Josh Whiting brought Frontier out from New York that I finally got my big break. I was signed to understudy Margaret Easterly's Julie, and then she came down with mononucleosis, and I opened instead. Fortunately to critical acclaim, and the part became mine.
And that's when I came over and saw you for the first time.
True, but it was not me you came to see.
Yeah, that's true it wasn't. I'd been warned off, you remember. But I'd heard such wonderful things about this former Canadian soldier who'd been cast as clay. Together you were dynamite. So I chose to ignore your detractors and sign the both of you.
Who is it?
Julie, it's Clay Hardy.
Oh, come in, Clay.
Julie?
Oh, I've forgotten to turn up the lamp again, haven't I?
Afraid so.
Father says I'll be the death of him yet if I don't stop forgetting. There, is that better?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
I hope you've come for a long visit.
Thank you, but I can't stay long. I've come to ask a favor of you.
Oh, I heard you and Tracy lost your place today. Is that why you came?
Yes, I need a place for Tracy to stay until I can rebuild.
Your sister's welcome, and so are you.
Well, until I'm sure the Indians are going to leave us alone, my place is on the ramparts, so I best be going.
Oh, must you really hurry away? Can't you spare a few minutes for an old friend?
Put it that way, how can I hardly refuse? Not that I want to, it's not often I get to talk to a girl as pretty as you.
Clay Hardy. Isn't Hardy an Irish name?
So my daddy told me. What?
Because you sound like someone who could get the blarney, that's why.
Not me. You are pretty, Julie. And special, too. Well, any man worth his salt would give his eye teeth for the right to protect you.
Somehow I don't think Father will require that sacrifice. He'd probably be only too glad to get rid of me. Clay, it's been a long time since we've been close enough to touch. I'd like to know what you look like now. Would you mind?
Be my guest. Will I do?
Passable, I'm sure.
You're more than passable, Julie. I mean to be common and call a bit more often from here on out.
If you don't, Clay Hardy, I will be hurt.
In that case, I will. Julie, you make life a bit more bright for me. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Let's say we skip out on old Simon Pure and live it up for a change.
Don't be silly. I'm a happily married woman.
Happily married. A contradiction in terms for sure. But the fact remains, I love you.
I cannot help that. I love my husband.
He's a dullard. Wake up! There's a big new world out there waiting for just the two of us. And old Simon Pure will just make you old before your time.
Oh, Roman, there is no us. Not now, not ever. I repeat, I love my husband, and I take my wedding vows seriously, so I'm neither flattered nor pleased with your proposition.
Yes, but you don't know what you're missing.
And then I will never miss it, will I? Now, if you will excuse me, Simon and Victoria are waiting for me.
What a waste.
Madeline, love. I thought you were superb tonight. Why the frown?
Oh, was I superb, darling? Thank you. I did feel that the audience was with me.
Then why the frown?
Oh, Roman Regis thinks he's God's gift to women, that's all.
Oh, tried you out, did he?
Yes, he never gives up.
Are you going out with him?
What? Oh, Simon, don't be ridiculous. If you were not holding Victoria, I would give you a severe thrashing.
Ooh, I'm terrified.
Oh, stop it.
Lass, you'll catch your death standing about a drafty stage overheated like you are.
Oh, thank you, Sheila. I did feel a chill.
Sheila, dear, Victoria's asleep. Would you please lie her down? Come right back.
Oh, let me have my wink-cushy do.
We have a special guest tonight.
Home to your Aunt Sheila.
What special guest?
Oh, just some big producer from across the pond.
Tonight? Why did you keep it from me?
Oh, I just learned about it after intermission.
Oh, he probably came to see Roman. I hear he's had good press over there being a war hero, so the story goes.
That's probably all it is. That's why he sent a note specifically asking for you.
Oh, Simon Hanover, you're a beast! You get me every time. Still, in spite of all your faults, I've decided I still love you.
Madeline! Darling, hello. I brought someone to meet you. This is one of America's top producers, Seth Porter. Seth, this is Madeline Morrison, my co-star.
Oh, Miss Morrison, it's a pleasure to meet you. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed your performance tonight. Until the curtain call, I thought you were really blind.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Porter. I would like to introduce to you my husband, Simon Hanover.
Hi. The reason I want Simon Hanover? Yes, you did the movie version of Macbeth.
Guilty. I hated it.
But why? You were wonderful. I was pulling for you to win the Oscar that year.
No, it is not a medium I appreciate. No continuity. I much prefer the live stage.
Have you considered the Broadway stage?
My medium as an actor is Shakespeare.
Oh, American theater has come of age. You could find some very challenging roles there.
That is something that we could probably discuss at a later time. But tonight you came to see my wife.
Oh, yes, that's true. How would you like to star in a new Broadway musical?
Oh, well, I've always hoped it would come in time, but I've just gotten started here in England. Still, it's something I might consider.
Would you consider it now? I have Royal B. King's latest. He's had 7 straight hits, including, of course, Frontier, which you did tonight. The one I have is called The Angel and the Rebel. And I've signed Mr. Regis here to play the rebel. I think you'd make the perfect angel.
Well, what do you think, Simon?
Well, it is perfect typecasting. If the contract is right.
I have here the contract that I prepared for Mr. Regis. I assure you, Miss Morrison would have an equal one. It's an excellent contract for a new talent.
No, I'm sure that's very true. But Madeline is an unusual talent. The money is good in the beginning, but I think that you could make some reasonable allowance. The show should last over, say, 6 months.
Well, since you say reasonable, I suppose something could be arranged, say a 25% increase over 6-month intervals for the run of the show.
But the show could last for years. I would only want to guarantee 2 years. We would like to have another child before Victoria gets too old.
2 years?
If that's all right with you, darling.
No, I think it is eminently fair. If the show should last that long, a change in leads could even enhance your box office.
All right. 2 years, minimum. What else?
But I think there should be some compensation for our getting to the States, and perhaps even helping with temporary digs until we can find permanent quarters.
Oh, well, within reason, I'll agree to that. Anything else?
We operate as a team, Mr. Porter.
Yes. So my wallet's just discovered.
What I'm getting at, Mr. Porter, I am my wife's coach, business manager, and grounding rod. Wherever she goes, I go too.
Miss Morrison, you're not asking me to pay your husband beyond our agreed salary.
Oh, no, Mr. Porter. What we want is for Simon's presence at rehearsals to be part of our agreement. Well, once you see him in action, I'm sure you will agree. He's worth every penny you pay us.
Oh, I don't know if that's such a good idea. No director's going to brook any kind of interference at his rehearsals.
I would only be there to observe, to help reinforce his directions for Madeline's preparation. And, if so desired, help any other member of the cast if he needs help.
Oh, well, I'm sure that won't be necessary, but I appreciate the offer.
Seth, be careful. Old Simon Pure is just a useless appendage.
Oh,
I'll be the judge of that, Mr. Regis.
Simon, what about Sheila?
Mr. Porter, will there be a need for a dresser for my wife?
Yeah, this part requires one.
Miss Wicks here is proving to be a very efficient dresser in this production. as well as an excellent rehearsal pianist.
We have excellent ones in New York, Mr. Hanover.
Simon, please, she's family.
Mr. Porter, would it really matter if she were to assume those responsibilities?
No, I suppose it wouldn't.
And if you will make the stipulations to those parts in the contract, we will sign it.
I think I've been had. But I'll sit down with our London solicitor in the morning and bang out a new contract. I'll bring it by tomorrow night after the show. It'll give you a chance to see if the lady is really worth it. I already know that she is.
In every sense of the word.
Until tomorrow, then. Now, Mr. Regis, you promised me some nightlife.
Hey, you couldn't have picked a better guide, Seth. Come on.
We'll see.
About that increase?
Oh, we're all going to Broadway! Oh, but Simon, what about you? Why did you turn down this offer of a show of your own?
Well, someone needs to be there for Victoria. And besides, us working together, we're not going to be spending long days and weeks apart. And I can satisfy my creative urges by working for you.
There's no getting around. Your team. But do you know what you're giving away?
Oh, nothing as much as I value my family. What I'm more concerned about is you. We've included you in Mr. Porter's contract without even consulting you. I'm sorry, Sheila.
Oh, what for? Because you see me as family too. If I'd objected, I'd let you know. Never you fear.
No secret lover to miss?
Oh, I know it's love, all right. But it'll never be, because he loves another bird and wouldn't see me if I used his head for a football.
Oh, Sheila, dear, you never said anything before. Are you sure there's no hope at all?
Gosh, I'm sorry I blabbed, but there's nothing to be done. Besides, I'm looking forward to crossing the pond.
We would be lost without you, Sheila.
Too right. What team? The four of us.
Oh, yes, Victoria.
Oh, I gotta go check on her. Madeline, don't you be pumping Sheila about her mystery man. She obviously wants to keep it a secret.
Oh, spoil sport. Sheila Wicks, I thought we had no secrets between us.
Madeline, you heard the mister. You leave it alone.
Well, I'm sorry if you thought I was prying into your affairs. I was not really.
There, there. Did you have a bad dream, sweetheart? Well, Daddy is with you now. He will always be there for you. You will never know the heartache of the loneliness, the lack of love that we once knew. You and I are going to be a team. We have to make allowances for the time that Mother is away. Just love her. Let Aunt Sheila fill in the empty spaces. You are such a little thing to become so important to our lives.
I've never known a more devoted father than Simon, nor have I ever had a better friend. You know, when I met him, I thought he was the pushiest Brit I'd ever had the misfortune to trip across. You know, I was right about that. Yeah, you can't fault him, though. He's always been right on the money. He's made more than one silk purse out of a sow's ear to save my bacon. I've wished he'd direct for me.
Perhaps he will now. It will give him a new focus in life.
Do what you can to convince him.
I will.
I've got a property here at Garth Lawton's I've been wanting to mount for years. I just haven't been able to find the right director.
Must be controversial.
Oh, no, not so controversial as it is oriented in religion, much like Fiddler on the Roof. It's not preachy, but it's the story of religious persecution and how this people reach their sanctuary. I'll messenger him a copy today.
I think Simon would like that kind of material. He is basically a religious person. Did you know that?
Yes, though rarely stated, it is such a part of him.
Roman is always calling him Simon Pure because of it.
Simon's not above labeling our Mr. Regis. What is it he calls him? Roman hands.
It's not a nickname, it's an occupation.
And it's a good thing for Roman. He's so talented on stage. His escapades are legion. And I'm convinced that he's at least partly responsible for the schism between Vicky and Simon.
I'm sure of it. Victoria is so enamored with Roman and so critical of Simon. It's my fault, really, for never taking time off to provide Victoria with brothers and sisters. She's become so self-absorbed.
Well, Maddie, if you'd have ever asked for time off, I'm sure I could have arranged something.
Oh, I was too worried the people who buy tickets would have forgotten me.
Oh, that would never happen. You're America's sweetheart, right up there with Doris Day.
I suppose I never outgrew the insecurity the orphanage bred into me.
It's a good thing you had Simon and Sheila around you to watch over you, to keep you pumped.
Dear, faithful Sheila. Did I ever tell you I think I finally found out who Sheila's secret love is?
I've known for quite some time. But how did you find out?
Oh, a few years ago, about the time I discovered the rift between Simon and Victoria, Sheila showed me where her deepest loyalties lay. We were doing Golden Dreams at the time. It was just before intermission, and I'd just finished the cabaret scene.
Vicky, my love. You're as charming and as beautiful as ever. I can't believe you're only 15 years old.
Oh, my father still treats me like I'm a baby.
Speaking of your father, how goes the war?
You mean with old Simon Pure, nothing's changed.
He's not going to change it, that's for sure. The old parasite has got too good a thing going for him. You and your lovely mother deserve better.
Well, tell that to Mom. She's still bonkers over him, though nobody knows why.
He's probably got her hypnotized, that's all. I bet you he's some kind of Svengali.
Oh, I could understand it if you were married to Mom.
Oh, I would have been if I had met her first. She's really been the only true love of my life, and, well, except for you, I've never loved anyone else.
Oh, I wish you were married to Mom. Then I could have a father that I could love and respect.
Victoria! How dare you ever suggest such a thing? Get back to my dressing room and stay there now.
Oh, why'd you have to marry Daddy? He's nothing but a parasite. I hate him.
I hope you're proud of yourself, turning a daughter against her father.
What did I do?
Oh!
It's not my fault the girl sees her father for what he really is, even if you can't.
Oh!
Why don't you come to your senses?
Oh, and leave him for you, I suppose.
Now you're making sense.
Oh, in your dreams. I would not have you if I was single.
You've just never given me the chance to show you how much I love you.
Oh, Roman, if I ever took you seriously and pressed you to make good on your promises, you would run so fast even Jesse Owens in his prime would never have been able to catch you.
You just don't really want to face the truth. I'm really a very desirable man.
In your eyes only. Oh!
Madeline, what in heaven's name have you done to Victoria? She is in your dressing room crying her eyes out, consigning me to the nether regions and saying that you have ruined her life.
I found her out here quite literally in Roman's arms. I sent her packing and gave Roman what for.
So she fancies herself in love with old Roman hands? That does it! I'm going to break the man in two!
No, Samuel, please, wait. She does not love him the way you mean. It is just hero worship. It is not Victoria that Roman wants.
What is this, Madeline? Is that rotter trying to get to you through Victoria?
Oh, darling, you do not deserve this, but somehow, and you must know it did not come from me, Victoria has decided that Roman would make a better husband and father.
thought that she has been a bit difficult of late. I thought it was her being 15.
That must be it. I suppose we'll just have to be a bit more patient with her.
Poppycock, you've been far too patient with her all your life, Madeline Hanover. What that girl needs is a good strong hand applied to her backside by the one parent she respects. It might wake up that ungrateful whelp. It is not fair that someone so devoted as Simon should be the target of her rejection. He has had to put up with too much already, just so you can have your career. To have to put up with it in his own home, too.
Sheila, what have I done for you to turn on me like this?
You! Must you always think of how things affect you? You've got the best man there is. Can't you think of him for a change?
Sheila, thank you for your championship. But I am content as long as I have Madeline's love and respect.
You should not be. It is selfish to expect you to do all the giving. It is time she took a hand at putting things right. I'm sorry, love, but it's time for plain speaking. Cherish your man. You'll never find a better.
I know that as well as you.
Well, then be about showing it, love. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be getting back to my proper place. Ta.
I do not know, and Sheila's been so angry with me. Have I been so bad that she should temper me this way?
It is a bit surprising, considering she dotes on you and Victoria as much as I do.
And you do know that I love you and that you're more important to me now than you've ever been?
Yes, I do. You see, even you are not a good enough actress to keep it hidden from me. It shines in your eyes, and it is what I look for.
Sheila's right about one thing. I've not spent enough time with Victoria. I've not emphasized to her just how important you are to my success.
We have both gone overboard, pandering to every whim, and because of the time that we've had to spend away preparing and performing. From now on, I'm going to be a lot stricter with her. We should know that love is not for sale. It has to be earned, like respect and wages.
But if anyone has really earned them, you have. Yet, except when she's in a temper, she gives them to me.
Madeline, our time with you has been always quality time. You have earned everything that you have received, including any sacrifice that I may have made. Don't let Victoria upset you so. You still have to do the last act.
I will try to block it out until the final curtain. But after that, I'm going to sit down with Victoria and have a little heart-to-heart.
We can discuss that later. Now you need to go.
Oh, all right. You are a lovable tyrant.
Go. I wonder what we could have done differently and still kept us together.
Simon, I'm taking this one home to Briarwood. Her ladyship will have to do without my services for the rest of the night. Can you fill in?
Oh, of course, Sheila. And thank you for your insight. I'm afraid that Madeline and I would have just blown up.
I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn.
You are as much as family as anyone. No need to apologize. And thank you for your love and concern.
We're going, Aunt Sheila, then let's go.
You mind your manners with me, love. You're not so big I can't blister your hide as you deserve.
Thank you, Sheila. We'll be up to relieve you tomorrow.
Thank you. I'll be there. Ta.
Ta. Come away, death, and in sad cypress let me be laid. Fly away, breath, I am slain by a fair, cruel maid.
Even after that, I still did not spend enough time with Victoria. I abrogated that responsibility to Sheila. That is when she gave up being my dresser and made mothering Victoria a full-time job. She mothered Simon and me as often as we came home from the theater.
Did she ever give you any other reason to suspect she was in love with Simon?
Oh, once I realized it, I saw it in her eyes. But she's never given any indication that she realizes it herself. Certainly Simon has no inkling. After I'm gone, give him a nudge in Sheila's direction. It might never occur to him otherwise.
You want him to marry again?
It would be the final proof our marriage was not a failure. Sheila has certainly earned some personal happiness after all these years of loyalty. And Simon will never be happy alone.
Particularly if Vicky continues to reject him.
Somehow I have to make her see how wrong she is. That is why she must work with her father in preparing for this role.
Oh, back to that again, are we?
Oh, you just have to give her a go, Seth.
All right. I said I'd consider it, and I'll even go further than that. I have such faith in Simon's judgment. I'll let him decide if and when Vicky is ready to pull this off.
Oh, thank you, darling.
You realize this could all backfire on us. Simon is much too honest to let Vicky go on if she's not ready.
Oh, she can do it. I know she can.
I hope our faith is well placed. Are you sure you'll be gone so soon? You look healthy to me.
Actually, I'm always very tired.
And you would rest better at home, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'll just arrange for a temporary place here in New York.
No, you won't.
No.
You belong home with your family. I'll arrange with Bill Erickson up at Metro Helicopter to fly you home every night and back down here every afternoon.
Thank you, Seth. You always know what to do or who to call.
That's why I get the big bucks. We might as well start right away. I'll have Bill's limo pick us up right after tonight's performance.
And on the way, we can plan our strategy for breaking the news.
Blasted, there's that to do. Gene, get me Bill Erickson up at Metro Helicopter.
Folks, we'll have a short intermission. The regiment.
Well, the light's still on, which means my father's still up, which means Mother isn't home yet. Well, you might as well come in and meet him.
Victoria, come in. Take your young man's coat. Hello, I'm Simon Hanover. Good to meet you.
I'm glad to finally meet you, sir. I'm David Lee Spencer.
Ah, yes. Come in, sit down.
Thank you.
Could I get you something to drink?
Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't drink.
Or if you mean spirits, we don't either. Could I get you some lemonade or soft drinks? Perhaps ice water?
Oh, yes, Dad takes ice water intravenously.
Well, would you have a ginger ale?
Oh, do we have ginger ale? My father mixes it with everything. Orange juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, anything at all you name.
Well, it all sounds good to me.
Victoria and I have an unusual relationship to the point that she hardly ever speaks directly to me. How long have you known Victoria?
About 6 months. We met when she came into the hospital for a physical required by her dance company.
You're a doctor then?
Yes, an intern, really. I have 2 more years of residency before I begin my practice. I don't get to see all that much of Vicky.
Here's your drink. Is Daddy giving you the 3rd degree?
No, not really. We're just getting better acquainted.
Good.
Have you chosen a field of subject for your residency?
Well, to support myself, I will specialize in obstetrics, but my real interest is in serology. That's
The study of serums. Is immunology your eventual goal?
Well, I doubt I'll ever be as famous as Jonas Salk, but I believe that there's a wide field open in the area of blood diseases, like leukemia, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, and chronic anemia.
Work all day and half the night delivering babies? And in your spare time work in your laboratory?
Oh, I don't think it'll be quite that bad for us, especially after I get the lab established. You see, it can pay for itself by creating anti-venoms and antitoxins as a sideline.
You mentioned us. Do you have a partner in this venture?
Just my life's partner, sir. I've asked your daughter to be my wife.
And Victoria, have you accepted?
Oh, tentatively pending Mom's approval.
And yours, of course, sir.
You have it, Dr. Spencer. And I hope that Victoria hangs on to you, regardless of what her mother says. She hasn't been appreciative of her mother's choice in men lately.
Thanks a lot, Daddy.
I think I'm going to like you, sir.
And I'm going to like you, David.
Oh, how nice. How soon will Mom be home?
Oh, she called earlier to say that she and Seth would be flying down by helicopter.
Well, I hope so. I want to get this over with.
Now, don't worry, honey. Everything will be all right.
You know how I make her erupt when I displease her.
When do you plan to be married?
Well, Vicky wants to carry on your tradition of February 14th.
That's 8 months from now. Why so long?
I thought you and Mom would appreciate it.
Well, I do appreciate the thought. But if you are committed, do it.
I think as the bride I can choose my own date. Thank you.
Well, frankly, sir, I would prefer late in August when I have 2 weeks off for a honeymoon.
Well, I thought you'd given up that idea.
Well, only to please you for your parents' sake. But now that doesn't seem necessary.
Why, because he says so?
Well, he is your father, Vicky.
That I'm only too aware of.
You see, with Victoria, it is her mother that counts.
Oh, Mom. Oh, I have the greatest news.
Oh, good. I could use some good news.
Mom, I want you to meet the man I plan to marry, Dr. David Spencer.
Simon tells me you're the right one for my Victoria, and I trust his judgment implicitly. Welcome to the family, Doctor.
Oh, we plan to be married February 14th.
Oh, why wait that long? You know I do not believe in long engagements.
But, Mom, well, that is what your husband tried to tell her. Oh, but Vicky here wouldn't listen.
David.
It seems to me I've heard this all before, about 25 years ago. I'm going out to fix us a late supper. Doctor, I'm Vicky's Aunt Sheila, and this gentleman is her Uncle Seth. We're adopted family members, but family nevertheless.
Well, now that we've all been introduced, why don't we all sit down? It's been a long day.
Simon, did the messenger service bring you a script?
Oh, yes. But I haven't finished reading it yet.
Well, what do you think of it so far?
Well, the first half, with inspired set design, could be, let's see, aboard ship would be very good theater. I was wondering if you meant to cast me in the part of Claxton McHenry, the self-proclaimed prophet of God.
Would you be willing to do it, dear?
Oh, Maddie, we're only talking might have beens.
I'd hope to twist your arm into directing it for me, but I like that idea of you playing the villainous Claxton. Perfect typecasting, I'd say. Perhaps you could do both.
Well, with Victoria settling down, we could have no reason not to take up Seth's offer.
Oh, Victoria's marriage will not change my commitment to you.
You can't give up your meal ticket, can you?
Victoria.
Sorry, Mom.
You will be needing me, will you not?
Not for long. I'm retiring.
Say that again.
I'm retiring. In fact, I will not even finish this run.
Madeline, what is this?
It is the reason Seth came with me tonight. With your help preparing her, we plan to offer the role to Victoria.
Do you mean it?
Of course, it'll depend upon your father's assessment of your ability to do a professional job in the role. Simon, do you think she can replace Madeline?
Oh, no. Not the way Madeline thinks it.
Do you have to ruin everything?
Oh, Victoria, do not misunderstand me. You have every ability to be as good or better than Madeline in this role. But you have different strengths, and so you have to play it differently.
How differently?
Madeline is a competent actress that uses her strength of character to draw the audience along with her. Victoria does not have Madeline's vocal range. Although she has a fine, rich contralto that can be very dramatic, the dancing is much better, and I believe that she could stretch her acting abilities to far greater heights.
What kind of changes would you propose?
Her songs would have to be dropped to fifth. The song, Our First Home, would have to go and be replaced by... Sweetheart, what was the name of that song we dropped?
When love turns to ashes.
And that's it. As you recall, the original story had a different ending. You see, with Madeline, her audience always requires that she has a happy ending. With Samantha, we could do it a little different. Judd, leaving Samantha for the better arms of Beth.
You feel all this would be necessary?
That would make a much more dramatic play. And establish Victoria without being a poor imitation of Madeline.
Do you think that Barbara Carroll could do it without the changes?
Already has neither the charisma nor the strength to carry it. You'd close inside a month.
Yes. Simon, would you give me a firm commitment to prepare Vicky for this role?
What do you say? Do you want this badly enough to work hard for it, Victoria?
Well, I've always wanted to follow Mama to Broadway. And I've been preparing for years for just such an opportunity. I'm not the one in this family who's afraid of work.
Victoria! You're almost 24 years old. Stop acting like a baby.
Mom, he's lived off you all your married life. Now you're retired, he wants to live off me. I won't have it.
You will, or you won't get this part. Now, I'm going to gamble on your father's expertise and not on your as yet untried abilities.
What expertise?
Why don't you give it a try? You might be surprised.
Believe me, honey, he's the best drama coach you can find.
Oh, why do you persist in that fiction?
Vicky, your father only wants to help you. What's wrong with that?
Stay out of things that don't concern you, Dr. Spencer.
Oh, everything about you concerns me. This is a side of you I haven't seen before. Look, try to be reasonable.
I told you to stay out of it.
Doesn't what I think matter to you? After all, I am your fiancé.
Well, that's easily changed. Here's your ring. Victoria! Oh, you're in a temper. Take time to cool off before you say or do something you might regret later.
Oh, be quiet, all of you.
I am sorry, David.
It's not your apology I want to hear, sir. You owe me none. If you'll excuse me, I'll be heading back to New York.
Oh, wait, David. I'm sure Victoria will be back down here in a minute, full of apology.
You may be right, ma'am. But she has to learn more control than she showed here tonight. And she won't, if I make it easy for her.
Now I know that you're the right one for her. She needs someone with a strong hand. Thank you, David, for coming. We hope to see you again soon.
Oh, good heavens, what a mess. Seth, forgive us. We've spoiled that girl rotten.
Yeah, I take my share of the blame for that, but is she mature enough to pull this together in time?
In time? Madeline, what is this? Why are you retiring?
Even you have noticed that my performances have lacked some of their past energy.
Are you out of remission?
Yes. I received the final word from Dr. Fawcett today.
The final word?
Yes. There's no reprieve this time.
How long, darling?
6 months. With proper care, perhaps less. Oh, Simon. I am dying. Oh.
mother has leukemia. That's why we need you to step in for her.
Mom, this can't be true.
I'm sorry, baby. But it is.
Well, isn't there anything that can be done?
No. I've lived for over 4 years on borrowed time since the first flare-up. That time they were able to check it temporarily. This time, there are no new miracles.
Your mother needs you more now than she ever has before.
Well, there's no hope at all.
You are my hope now. I can live on in your heart and in your father's. If you will just do this one last thing for me, will you bury your animosity and work with your father? Nothing is more important to me.
If that's what you want, that's what I'll do.
Oh, good. I'm depending on you.
So am I. Believe me, honey, your father is the best you will ever find.
You say so, Uncle Seth.
Could we call a truce until all this is over?
For Mom's sake, I'm willing to give it a try. Well, is that what you wanted?
Vicky, you are a talented dancer, and what you did had beauty and contrast. But what did it mean?
What more do you want?
What you have done shows that you have talent. What I want now is choreography that depicts drama of moment. What is Samantha's subtext in this scene?
Well, she's given up Jed. It's the end of that relationship.
You have barely scratched the surface. She is having second thoughts about her altruistic motives. They have lost their savor because, even though she knows it is the right thing, she is heartbroken that Jed is so willing and eager to accept her refusal as final, and so eager to run off with Beth.
You'll have to show me what you want.
I'm not a choreographer.
Exactly. You don't know what you're talking about.
Wrong. What I am asking you to do is create an intrinsic part of this story. Your dance did not portray that. It was too energetic, too meaningless, too happy.
And you're too much of a phony to admit you don't have a clue as to what you really want.
And you are too selfish and childish to grow up and throw off the misconceptions of your youth. Too bent on scoring off me for imagined wrongs you think I have done you. You are a spiteful little child, smashing the toys to punish the parents.
And you can go to the devil for all I care.
Victoria!
By heaven, Gil, you're too big for me to give you a what for?
Simon, what have you done?
You have heard what she said.
Yes, but what happened to you? You never lost your control like that with me.
Even when you were mad at me, you were not sarcastic or disrespectful. I am human, you know. Even I have a limit to my patience.
Is it a lost cause?
Oh, that is what is so frustrating. She has even more talent than I realized.
Are you willing to keep working with her? Sheila can get her to come back.
Of course. It is not that I have given up on her. It is more that she has given up on me and is too intractable to even continue with this project. But I will try, and to keep working, time and strength.
It is all I can ask. But I do so hope to see it work before I die.
What will I ever do without you?
You'll go on with the business of living. Directing for Seth, playing with your grandchildren, so many other things I will never be able to share.
You sound so sure.
I am. I wish I were sure that it will work out with Victoria. It is a beautiful gift you both can savor for the rest of your lives.
I may not be able to hold you like this for a while, but I will hold you like this forever in spirit.
Simon! Now what's happening between you and Vicky? I just stopped her a block away from here running for her life.
It was just a temperamental outburst, Seth. We all have them.
She says she's quitting.
Just words, Seth. Said in a moment of anger and frustration. You really do not mean it, do you, dear?
Oh, I do if it means working with him.
Oh, you have to try, sweetheart.
Why?
Because it's the only way I can be sure you're ready.
Uncle Seth.
But nothing, young lady. If you ever want to work on Broadway, you'll grow up this minute and begin acting like a professional actress, even if you can't be a loving and dutiful daughter.
Even if it means working with him?
This is business! Your mother's worked well with old Roman hands for years, in spite of detesting him as a person. You don't always get to work with people you like. Right now, I don't much like you. But I'll still consider hiring you for the sake of the show if you make a commitment and stick to it.
Then you will still consider her.
Consider her, yes. Depend on her, no. This is her last chance. Either she gets with it right now, or she's finished forever.
Oh, Mama, I thought Uncle Seth loved me.
He does, Victoria. That is why what you have done has hurt him so.
What you're doing, lads, is hurting everybody around you, but yourself most of all. 'Tis bad enough you treat your father so ill, but you're hurting your mother at a time when she's so fragile.
You broke your promise to us and tried our faith in you to the point we are not sure you have the maturity or the character to succeed.
Well, I never meant to hurt you.
Well, you have, and you've let me down terribly.
Well, I'm sorry. I want to make you happy.
Not good enough. Wanting and willing are two very different words.
For instance, darling, I want you to be a success, and I'm willing to ask your forgiveness. Will you forgive me?
I'm willing to give it a try if you are.
For as long as it takes.
Peace.
Peace.
Where shall we start?
Let's begin with the monologue. Perhaps it will give you inspiration for choreography in the dance.
Jet. My darling Jet. let you go, though I still loved you. When love turns to ashes, we realize that we must go down paths we do not always wish we had to take. But know that we must. But Jed, my dear Jed, if I could only hold you once again.
Just beautiful, darling.
Yes, indeed.
David,
I think she has found exactly what she was looking for.
Oh, I do hope so.
David, darling, can you forgive me for being so childish?
Oh, you keep kissing me like that, and I'll forgive you anything.
Well, I'm so glad you decided to come back. I've been miserable without you.
So have I. But that isn't why I came back. I can be stupid and stubborn too.
Well, then why did you come back?
Oh, because your father came to see me and convinced me I was being a pompous jerk.
Daddy?
Guilty? But I doubt that I put it quite that way.
But why?
I knew that it was time that you and David got back together.
For the good of the play.
The play be hanged. What I wanted you to see was that you were losing part of your love. David was part of that for you. Was I wrong?
Yes. Only because he is so much more than that.
Does this mean that the engagement is on again?
David,
I see you're still wearing my ring.
I haven't taken it off since I found you'd left it behind.
Well, I'd say that means we're still engaged. If it is what you really want.
You better grab 'em while you can, love.
Oh, I intend to.
Then take the rest of the day off.
Oh, dare we? Won't Uncle Seth be angry?
Are you quitting the show?
No.
You think that you can take your monologue and convert it into choreography for the dance?
Yes, I can really feel it now.
Good. Then go with Seth's blessings and meet us after at the theater if you can.
Oh, we'll be there. Hopefully with a new wedding date.
Yes, I want both Mom and Dad to be there.
It's about time.
Run along, dear, and get it done. I do so want to be a part of that day.
I'll do my best if you will.
Thank you. I will.
Aunt Sheila, it wouldn't be right unless you were there too. Can you forgive me?
I guess I can. Since you're marrying back into the family.
Any word from the newlyweds?
Not since they wired that they were going to return tonight.
How soon will Vicky be ready?
Are you ready to make the change?
Much as I hate to say it, I think Maddie is reaching the end of her diminishing strength. I'm surprised she's able to finish every night. Her performance has taken on such a tenacity of spirit.
Do you think that she is slipping?
On the contrary, it's the best acting of her career. But she's wearing herself out. Just compound the tragedy if she were to collapse on stage.
I share and appreciate your concern, old friend.
If we don't act soon, the decision is going to be taken out of our hands.
That is a bridge that we will have to cross when Victoria returns.
How long is it going to take her to finish preparing?
That will be in Madeline's hands.
Did someone mention my name? Hello, darling. I hope you're ready for Victoria to go on.
When do you want to quit, Maddie?
I would like to bow out tonight, if I may.
Can we be ready for tomorrow, Simon?
Most of the changes are in the Victoria's part, except for the last 3 pages. If we were to call a rehearsal for 10 in the morning, I think we should be fine. If we reach any snags, Madeline could play one more.
I could do a few more if I have to, but I would prefer not. After Victoria's debut, I would like to get away for a second honeymoon with Simon.
I do hope that I'm up to it.
Well, if you're not, I can suggest a replacement. Seriously. Are we in it tonight?
Please, sir. And it will not be the end of the world.
No, but it will be the end of an era. Or the end of the reign of the Queen of Broadway, if you will.
Oh, speaking of that, I'd best be about changing for the last act. Forgive me, Sheila, but it is Simon I need with me tonight.
It was him you started with. It'd only be fitting you'd be with him for the last.
Seth, darling, thank you.
Roman, there's a rehearsal tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. It's mandatory, so don't be late.
What's the matter, Seth? I thought the show was going magnificently.
Tonight is Madeline's last performance.
So, the old girl is finally quitting. At last. So Barbara will take over as Samantha, right?
Wrong. I'm replacing her with Victoria with some major changes in the ending.
Practicing a little nepotism, aren't we, Uncle Seth?
I'm doing what's right for the show and for our investors. Not only will she be better in the role, but she'll be better box office, being Madeline's daughter.
I don't get it. Why is Madeline quitting?
She's dying. She has leukemia.
Leukemia? Isn't that a blood disease?
It's not catching, Roman, so buck up. Now, we practice tomorrow as planned. Any questions?
No, sir.
Good. You go tell Linda she'll be needed too.
All right.
Actors!
Hello, Uncle Seth.
Well, welcome back, son. Honey, you look radiant.
I never felt better. How's Mom doing?
Holding her own at the moment. We need you in harness right away.
Well, that's why I'm here, so Mom and Dad can enjoy the time she has left.
My cushy do.
Oh, Aunt Sheila.
Oh, Doctor, you're a sight for these old eyes.
Miss Wicks.
Oh, go on with you now. I'm your Aunt Sheila now, too.
Sheila, let's go let Simon and Maddie know that they've returned, okay?
Vicky, my love. So you're going to be my new leading lady.
It appears that I will.
Perhaps we should get practicing tonight. You know, get a head start.
I'm already up in the part.
Oh, yes, but not with me. We need to get the right feeling with one another. You know, particularly the love scenes.
You disgusting creep! My mother is dying and my husband of 4 days is here and you have the gall to make a pass?
What's the harm in a little pass?
And to think I believed you all those years ago when you said mother was the love of your life. Have you ever had an honest feeling for anyone but yourself?
Madeline knows I always fall in love with my leading ladies. It puts the right touch of realism into the characterizations. Don't make such a big deal out of a little pass. Grow up. There's a big bad world out there.
It takes a snake like you to revel in it.
Mr. Regis, I suggest you make no further attempts to seduce my wife. For your information, I worked my way through medical school as a prize fighter. I was undefeated as a light heavyweight, and I am very jealous.
There's no need to get so testy. I meant no harm. Excuse me, I have to get ready for the last act.
What was that all about?
Roman was proving that discretion is better than bleeding.
I was telling him about my boxing career.
Oh, what boxing career? I didn't know you had one.
Well, I haven't.
But Roman doesn't know that.
And you made a pass at you.
Oh, he did.
And now he'll be a good boy.
Exactly.
Look who's here. Hello, darling. Oh, you look wonderful. Are you happy?
I hate to break this up, but we do have a play to put on. Vicki, how soon can you be ready to take over?
Well, I'm ready right now.
You sound so confident, honey. What makes you so sure?
Because I've seen it. I see it in my father's eyes.
She is ready, Seth. I guarantee it.
Is she really that good, Simon?
You will never see any better.
Then that's good enough for me. When do you want to start?
Well, tomorrow, Mom will let me.
Oh, the part is yours, pet.
Don't worry, Mother. I won't disappoint you on stage or in life.
I believe you, dear.
It's time, Madeline.